And welcome back to the commentator booth, where we are super excited to bring you an exciting match between DarkSide and Verge of Collapse, where we have a unique Etana on the field again.
Yep, and so it's very obvious that Verge has not been watching these previous fights because their Etana is still named First Etana Loss Inc. Silly Verge. The best you can do now is second. And DarkSide has been watching these previous matches because they have brought an exact copy of the Hydra Reloaded setup from the second match of their best 2 out of 3.
And if I would give any team chance to kill the second Etana of the tournament, the DarkSide team is it, because that team is dangerous and match is shortly underway here. Yep. We will see DarkSide, of course, 1 point down.
Yeah, so Verge has brought Navy Dominic's team, doesn't really take advantage of some of the Navy Dominic's strengths. They don't have any guns. It's a Tinker Shield Navy Dominic's team with the Etana. Etana obviously a massively strong logistics for a Tinker as Verge charges in with their frigates. But the Navy Dominic's I'm not too excited about as a choice here.
It looks like the DarkSide team is pulling back, with the Oneros being tackled super fast, with Verge of Collapse in no danger whatsoever. Etana starting to take damage, with the rest of the DarkSide team pulling back with those frigates. Let's see if they're able to kill any of these frigates here.
Do you remember when we talked about how, who was it, should have shot at the, it was Waffles, should have shot at the assault frigs.
That's right.
If DarkSide does this, they are, and it looks like they may, because they've got tackles on them, what they're doing is they're pulling back their entire team, and they're damping the Etana. So the Etana, well, it still has lock range, but we'll have to see if it can keep up locks on all of these ships.
For some reason, DarkSide not able to do heavy damage at all, except the first Hawk
there goes the Hawk very fast.
Dying.
So that
fast.
Etana lost his locks. The Hawk dived in too far, and the Etana stayed stayed damped. This Etana is not moving very quickly. He is stretching out a little bit ahead of these Dominic's, but the Dominic's are providing him heavy caps, so he needs to stay within range of those to keep his cap up.
The Oneros on the DarkSide team, on the other hand, is bleeding armor. He is not able to sustain that repping power. If he goes down, this is looking very grim indeed for DarkSide. At the moment, Hawk on the Virtuous side Collapse taking damage, but so far tanking with the Etana now in range and able to tank.
It looks like War God is close enough now that he's able to get locks on all these guys. I think DarkSide needs to switch up their tactics. This is not going to be working anymore. It got them the 1 Hawk kill. It might get them a second, because we'll have to see if he gets reps. Oh, it doesn't look like there's reps on him in time.
They need to go after that.
Oh, there they
go.
Very, very close to killing a Hawk, but War God did get the reps on in time, and at this point, that Oneros is just slowly bleeding armor.
It is bleeding armor. It is not able to sustain that ripping powder. The Oneros of Audrey's Meza is in trouble here.
They did kill Rengus's Hawk, though, so we do have another Hawk down. They have been slowly successful in knocking down. There's the Etana under fire now. The Etana taking damage. We'll have to see how well his tank holds up against all these sentry drones.
Right now, it needs to come down to the logistics weapon. Whoever manages to bring down the other side logistics first is going to be the dominant person on this match. The Etana in half shields now, taking massive chunks of damage.
So DarkSide has
Whoa!
Wow, that Etana is dropping very fast. DarkSide has a massive chunk of Curator sitting at perfect optimal to that Etana. It can't move fast enough to really avoid the tracking of them, so it is taking a ton of damage. Meanwhile, though, Verge of Collapse has sent their Vulture with a smart bomb to try to clear off these drones. It's sitting in the middle of the drones, trying to knock them down. It doesn't look like it's going to be fast enough, though. That Etana dropping into structure. It's going to go down in 1 or 2. There it goes!
Whoa!
Second
Etana down!
Second Etana down! That's another 80 billion-isk loss. Wow. And it's not like Verge of Collapse doesn't have some more Etanas up their sleeve, but still, that is a huge loss, and it's also huge for this fight itself. This wasn't a kill that just, let's get a fancy ship and lose the match. This is what they needed to kill to win the match as well. DarkSide now in actually a very strong position as they're clearing these assault frigs so fast.
So fast indeed. Of course, DarkSide lost their Oneros. They swapped about the same time as the Etana, but DarkSide has much more passive defense.
Yes.
They have much more EHP. They're sitting in a much better
burn
position.
down a Navy Dominic's.
And the Navy Dominic's is going down super fast.
The Logi trade is hugely in the side of DarkSide here, even though, Etana's known for having amazing tank, known for having a lot of cap. They haven't actually been used in the tournament until this year, because this was their first year that they can be used, but I know a lot of teams practiced with them, and sure Verge did, I know Hydra did, and they obviously thought that it was going to pull it out, but it didn't. This is going to be the second time. It looks like Atanas are going to be 1 for 3. You have a 66% chance of losing your of losing your Atana. They're 2 for 3 for winning the match.
Yes,
so that's
and
not
of course, like you said, Atanas, of course, there is only 50 of these in existing, and they will not ever be coming back again.
There is now 48 Atanas in existence.
Every single one of those that gets killed, the value of the rest of them goes massively up as well. Here we have Verge of Collapse now losing one Navy dummy, trading it for DarkSide Ishtar, but that trade is a good one to make with the second Navy dummy on Verge of Collapse side now entering armor with Verge of Collapse resulting into shooting vengeances. That doesn't seem that's a move of desperate man.
Yeah, I mean, they probably just can't catch the Ishtars. The Ishtars would be a much better choice to shoot if they could. Oh, they got some damage applying to them, but it's not really enough. That Navy dummy is going to be going down very fast, and then they'll just have the Assault Briggs and the Vulture left. DarkSide, definitely uneven this year. I mean, they have had some really, really good matches. They knocked Hun down to the losers bracket right away. They're now going to be knocking out the defending champions, Verge of Collapse. That actually makes DarkSide a team that they've only been in four now Alliance tournaments. No,
that's right.
3. Yeah, this is their 3rd Alliance tournament. In that time, they've knocked out the defending champion.
Twice.
Oh,
yes, they knocked down BL out of the tournament in 89. Now they're about to knock Verge of Collapse out of this tournament.
This is going to be a huge, huge win for DarkSide, and they're going to be getting with this the honor of fighting the Ronin, which is going to be another really, really tough match.
That's right. DarkSide, of course, this tournament has not so far shown a lot of promise, but now having adapted a good team for themselves from Hydra Reloaded.
Interesting. So like imitation, definitely the sincerest form of flattery. And DarkSide has been actually very strong in taking these setups from other teams, adapting them and flying them very effectively, even on very short notice. I mean, this is a setup that we just got shown. Actually, well, no, we did see a version of this last week.
Yes, so we saw a non-unique, non-flagship version of this, and which DarkSide took and adopted and are doing fantastically well. Of course, this setup we just saw beat Pandemic Legion as well. With the
setup with the Vengeance is
yes.
lost, but then this one won. Now that I think about it, when they knocked PL out, it was also with a very, very slight tweak of another team's setup. It was one of PL's setups from the year before.
Yes, it was a tweak of our own setup, which they kicked us out of the tournament. So I remember that was embarrassing.
So that means that now twice they've taken another team's setup, adapted it to their own uses, and used it to knock out a defending champion. That, I think, is a very, very impressive record. As we see the Verge of Collapse Vulture of NSA Bivas dropping out, and that's going to be DarkSide moving on through this elimination bracket. Verge of Collapse, the defending champions, eliminated, and losing another Atana. That's 48 Atanas left. Huge, huge explosion. And we'll send you back to get the reaction from Soundwave and the guys in the studio.